Now, batteries can't replace diesel, but new technologies with ammonia are emerging, and big money is pouring into the startups at the helm.
This car is a fuel that's made out of nothing but water.
Toyota's latest engine type is set to revolutionize the automotive industry, leaving EVs in the dust. This new engine that Toyota's been working on has been described as the most environmentally friendly engine in existence. So let's take a closer look at Toyota's recently discovered water engine and why it will destroy the entire automotive industry. The engine that Toyota is working on is actually, believe it or not, a water-powered engine that's relatively similar to their FCEVs, such as the Toyota Mirai, and hydrogen-powered internal combustion engines, such as the 1.6 hydrogen 3-cylinder engine they recently developed. Throughout history, water engines have always been one of the greatest aspiration points of the entire car industry because they promise huge benefits over regular combustion engines and EVs. Toyota has sufficient funding and can test the engine under all possible scenarios. So now you may be asking, how does the water engine actually work? Well, the engine works similar to the HHO generator, with only a few minor differences that make it better suited for everyday use in automobiles. The engine is actually very similar to the hydrogen combustion engine found in the Toyota GR Yaris H2, but instead of using pre-processed hydrogen, the engine processes it and separates hydrogen from oxygen using a chemical reaction. In simple terms, the engine separates H2O molecules through electrolysis, which is when hydrogen and oxygen are separated, then the electrodes in the water tank begin to emit high voltages. Since hydrogen is contained within the water when it's stored in the tank, there's no need for heavily armored and extremely heavy tanks, as is the case with FCEVs and hydrogen combustion engines, because hydrogen alone is extremely difficult to contain. The process of powering the vehicle is where the similarities between hydrogen combustion engines and water engines start. After it gets separated from oxygen, hydrogen is then sent to the engine, where it combusts similarly to compressed natural gas, and the overall way the engine itself functions is similar to CNG-powered ones. The fuel injectors must be adapted for compressed gas, and the cylinder heads, pistons, and valves must be armored, as hydrogen is highly combustible, making detonation difficult, necessitating stronger components. So, what are the long-term environmental benefits of a water engine? Well, first of all, it's almost completely zero emissions compared to regular internal combustion engines, similar to EVs, while also being far more convenient than EVs. Actually, forget that. It's more convenient than any other engine type available. As long as you have access to diluted water, you'll be able to refuel it, and it'll also cost you next to nothing. Yeah, think about that. You could potentially take your garden hose and use it to refuel your car. It's a pretty wild concept, but anyway. Furthermore, there will be significantly less demand for oil extraction. As if the engine goes mainstream, the only true branch of the entire industry where fossil fuels may be used is heavy machinery or huge power generation units. In addition, there will be no need to extract rare metals from the earth, which is currently one of the dirtiest processes in the entire car industry, since it directly pollutes both the water sources and the soil surrounding the mine, rendering the immediate surrounding area uninhabitable. Also, if we compare water engines to hydrogen combustion engines and FCEVs, both of which are marketed as zero emissions, we can see that they're significantly superior in this aspect. As keeping water needs next to no work, storing hydrogen alone requires much more thought, precise circumstances, and most importantly, much more money, as well as being significantly more harmful to the environment. And the reason for that is because hydrogen in its pure form is a gas that's extremely difficult to contain and can easily escape from a vehicle's tank if there are any irregularities, which means that the tanks must be armored, constantly monitored, and regularly maintained, whereas the fuel tank for water-powered vehicles can theoretically be almost any plastic container. Additionally, storing hydrogen outside of the car is inconvenient because it requires ideal temperature conditions, which is expensive, whereas distilled water can be purchased from any well-stocked supermarket. Or, if you know basic chemistry, it's possible to make it at home. Yeah, imagine going Walter White to make fuel for your car, but it's actually kinda just using water that you can find even in your shower. And furthermore, obtaining hydrogen in its pure form is an expensive procedure, which combined with the various challenges associated with the gas's storage is why hydrogen has yet to catch on, and is, quite frankly, unlikely to do so. Producing and storing hydrogen is expensive, which boosts the price of the gas for consumers, making us wonder why anyone would buy hydrogen cars since they're both more expensive to acquire and run than EVs and fossil-fueled vehicles. So, despite the fact that they're incredibly green and logistically simple to use and run in theory, the issue remains. Are water engines genuinely practical for daily use? Indeed, they are. First and foremost, they're not as gutless as some may believe, as a water-powered engine is comparable to most gasoline engines, and in theory, they can be made more powerful than regular internal combustion engines by producing up to 3 times more megajoules of energy. They're also considerably safer than other engine types, because there's no highly combustible fuels that are constantly stored inside the automobile. Thus, there's no risk of the car catching fire or bursting like fireworks. And on top of that, they're also quite simple to manufacture, with mechanical designs that are only slightly more sophisticated than conventional gasoline engines. They're significantly simpler and less expensive to manufacture than both EVs and FCEVs, and their nature makes them an ideal choice for motorizing developing countries that are not oil-rich. For this reason alone, an Iranian scientist decided to modify his Peugeot 405 to run on water, and was successful. Alaeddin Qasimi, a physicist, managed to create a fully functional conversion for his old car, transforming it into a true scientific marvel. Imagine what Toyota could do with adequate money if a man in a shed could build a daily driving water-powered car. Aside from being simple to manufacture, water-powered engines are also extremely economical when compared to both gas-powered vehicles and EVs. And believe it or not, Qasemi's own Peugeot 405 averaged between 30 and 40 miles per gallon of water, which is fantastic given that the car's base petrol engine could never achieve such high figures. This means that we may theoretically see water-powered engines that can go 80 miles or more per gallon without being fully gutless, lowering the cost of operating such vehicles even further than we previously thought. However, because there are no popular versions of the engine type, and no other car manufacturers are actively developing it, we must question ourselves. Are water engines the future? Yeah, hypothetically, water engines might be the future of automobiles. However, the conclusion isn't so straightforward, as there have been numerous concerns with water engines in the past. First, there are logistical obstacles. Although the infrastructure would require little to no changes, engine technology is still very experimental, and most of the workable prototypes have been very unreliable, and their daily usability has been mediocre at best. Additionally, while utilizing water as a fuel may appear to be a wonderful idea, the fact that it's separated into hydrogen and oxygen raises concerns about the car's overall safety. As already mentioned, hydrogen is extremely hard to contain, and even a minor leak in the system can be highly harmful and even lethal. Plus, even if Toyota managed to develop a dependable and safe water-powered vehicle, who's to say it wouldn't be shut down by lithium mining businesses, battery manufacturers, and most importantly, oil firms? By using water as a fuel, we would almost completely eliminate the use of fossil fuels in everyday life, and there would be little need to mine rare and expensive elements such as cobalt and lithium, which would seriously shake and even destroy some of the world's most profitable companies, such as Rio Tinto. And those companies would do everything in their power to completely discourage further development of such engines. But maybe Dasani would be pretty happy about it.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
And if you don't believe us, according to reports, they did it 25 years ago with the first official and completely functional water-powered car. Stanley Allen Meyer, the car's inventor, claimed that he and his brother were constantly in danger and receiving threats from people who were most likely representatives of oil firms, whose interests could have been compromised by the popularity of the water engine. He was even given millions of dollars to destroy his water-powered car and the plans behind it, but he never mentioned it again. Meyer, on the other hand, was a determined individual who continued to speak out against major oil multinationals. One night, while at dinner with two Belgian businessmen that showed interest in his invention, Meyer suddenly ran out of the restaurant while holding his throat. His brother, who was present at the time, ran out after him. He later told the press that Stanley told him that those businessmen poisoned him, after which he passed away. According to official reports, his death resulted from a brain aneurysm. However, the matter is still debated to this day, as only a few days after his tragic passing, his car, along with the plans for building the engine, were taken away from his garage, never to be seen again. So, as much as we'd like to see Toyota go ahead with this engine, we're not convinced it'll happen anytime soon, if ever. And even if they were working on the engine, they would most likely be doing so in complete secrecy, which is why there have been no public confirmations of the project yet. If you enjoyed this video and want to know about GM's latest compressed air engine, then watch this next video on your screen.